So I'm not going to do a funny intro or anything because this documentary made me cry, like a lot. What's going on, movie fans? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and ridiculousness. And I have been watching everything new on Netflix today, and I just watched the new documentary, Crip Camp. A groundbreaking summer camp galvanizes a group of teens with disabilities to help build a movement, forging a new path toward greater equality. So is Crip Camp a camp for the Crypt Keeper? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Crip Camp, if you were able to check out this documentary today, or if you're going to put this again in your Netflix queue. Now let's get into some of the good. So getting into Crip Camp, this is actually another documentary from the Obamas. They were executive producers. Aside from that, getting into this story, I didn't know what to expect. I had seen the preview or the trailer, and it looked like it was very interesting, where it had these hippies and all of these disabled people in like the early 50s going out to this camp, and essentially it was Woodstock. And that's how this all starts. Is there's these, essentially hippies, and they're bringing all of these, it's a summer camp for all of these disabled, handicapped people, but the bond that they make at this summer camp is a bond that honestly has been lifelong. Like, some of them that are in this documentary are still friends and still talk today, which is absolutely wonderful. But there's so many different emotional beats in this, because not only is it this like heartwarming, just feel-good story at certain parts of the movie, but also it's educational. It shows how, I'll get into it later, but kind of how these people at this summer camp really made an impact on the handicapped disabled community, but also making history and standing up for a group that was very much being looked down upon. It was one of the quotes is, "I was born into this world, but I was not made for this world." I'm butchering that quote. I'll put it right here what the actual quote is. It's feel good, but also educational, but then also absolutely heartbreaking. Not heartwarming, heartbreaking, and just disastrous to see the certain situations that some of these disabled people had to deal with in their day-to-day life, but also different facilities where obviously news teams did kind of an expose news story showcasing this Willowbrook, I believe, facility in Upper New York, and it was absolutely disgusting. And people that were at the Jened camp had mentioned that some of them had come there or they knew people. And that was another thing that really opened the eyes to Americans and everyone across the world, that these people need, I wouldn't say they need help, but they need things built for them. They need support. They need funding to have a better life. There's quite a bit of history in this show, and it's showcasing these kids that started as, like teenagers, all the way to them being about 60 years old now, because again, it started in the early 50s through the 70s, the 90s, and today. And the three main characters, or the three main people, Judy Heumann, James LeBrecq, and Denise Shear, they're sort of the main people that are giving their own personal history of kind of what they dealt with, their experiences at the camp, and all of these other people that they obviously dealt with, but they are the ones that are kind of the core personal stories. And then it branches off into educational and all of these different aspects. But the history aspect of it is diving into getting equal rights. And one of the biggest things that this group, because they got all of these groups together, there was protests, there was rallies, and they brought a lot of people to their cause, because again, it was a world they were living in, and the world wasn't helping them live in this world. Like, there were stairs everywhere. They said that they had many, many limitations throughout life. And one of the biggest things that came to be was the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, I believe. And this was absolutely phenomenal and a huge accomplishment for that community, because it made any public building that I believe was getting public funding for their establishment or business, they had to make it handicapped accessible, where they had to have ramps or elevators and stuff like that. And at the very beginning, when it passed, they actually didn't follow that section of it. So again, it is a history lesson. This is a feel-good movie. I was crying, I learned a lot, and I absolutely had a heartbreak. So like, this honestly hits on so many different facets, and almost just that beautiful summer camp feel that they were able to stretch out for like 50 years. It was so weird because, I mean, you've probably gone to summer camp and the last day you cry because you had made all these friends. These people have continued that weird summer camp feeling throughout this whole thing, and this was an absolutely delightful documentary to check out. Getting into the negatives, honestly, I have nothing. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I wouldn't say that it's like an entertainment factor like the Tiger King, but this one is feel good, heartbreaking, and educational. It really hits on all of these facets, and the opening and the last bit, I was very much crying. Overall, Crip Camp is, like I said, is heartwarming, is beautiful, is a touching, almost historical look at disability in the United States, with it doing a great job of telling that history, you know, hitting in the feels and almost making your eyes, like, just getting more of a spotlight on this situation. I would highly recommend checking out Crip Camp. Again, you're sitting at home, you're quarantined. If you want a feel-good, educational, heartbreaking, just beautiful story of these essentially underdogs that got what they wanted, this is that documentary. Like, Netflix, I don't know if this is going to stay in the spotlight for the rest of the year, but this could potentially get awards notice at the end of the year. In closing, I'm going to give Crip Camp 4.5 out of 5 boxes of tissues. So what did you guys think of Crip Camp? If you were able to check this one out, or now you're very much looking forward to this and ready to cry, I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there. You know, brand new content every single week. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow or Friday, maybe another movie trivia, but there's the ending explained poorly for freaks. It's very poorly explained. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was funny. Check that out. Follow all of my social media, like this video, and subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel. And until next time, we'll see you later.